New Earth is here. New Earth is upon us. The Great Awakening and New Earth are happening right now. Do you want to be left behind? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you the truth about the Great Awakening and New Earth that no one tells you. The link, the connection that you never knew existed. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris, and I help people to find their center. In this video, I'm going to share with you the truth about the Great Awakening and New Earth that no one tells you. So it's no synchronicity, it's no coincidence that you're on a video like this. And what is the Great Awakening? It's the Great Spiritual Awakening. This time on the planet has been predicted about for a couple hundred or even longer, thousands and thousands of years. And what it is the planet is going through a massive shift in consciousness. We're raising from a 3D solar plexus level of consciousness to 4D, which is more heart-centered, divine feminine, and at some point 5D. We're already there. And Dolores Cannon talked a lot about this in her works, and she's a QHHT practitioner. She started this and adapted this modality, and what she did was she was a hypnotherapist that recorded sessions, and most of her texts are the recordings and transcriptions of her sessions. And many people said the same thing or similar thing, that they came here to be a part of this shift in consciousness, this shift in vibration. It's what's going on here is similar to what happened in Atlantis. There are beings here that are playing with power that they shouldn't be, in a way that is not supposed to be. Atomic power. And that happened in the 1940s when we were given a gift of technology, and man used it and is using it in the wrong way. It was supposed to be for the benefit, but apparently we weren't ready for that. So the atomic bomb was invented, and those bombs going off rippled, and not just here on Earth and different vibrations of Earth, but in other planets and star systems as well. So Earth herself was in trouble, knew and saw the path that we were on, and put out a call in the 1940s. And a lot of us were chilling in our starships. A lot of us never been to Earth before. A lot of us were out on our own planets. Other of us may have had incarnations on Earth and had a particular soft spot to Earth, but Earth put out a call and asked for volunteers to come in and help with the shift in consciousness. Now, since time is a construct that we collectively agree upon on this planet, it doesn't really exist. Anyway, a call was put out, a lot of us heard it, and a lot of us were born into the system to influence it, because you can't influence it from the outside in. You can only influence it by raising your vibration from the inside out, and that's exactly what's going on here. So a lot of us never have been on Earth before. A lot of us, like, as soon as we came here, we didn't really know what we were in for, and a lot of starseeds want to go home, want to go back to their home planet. They want to complete the work and their mission as soon as possible and get the heck out of Earth, because right now, as you know, it's a very difficult and dense place to be. Earth is the only planet in existence, one of the only planets that has free will. So it's a very challenging planet. It's a great place to go through and level up your spiritual levels, but it's also very challenging. So anyway, the truth about the Great Awakening and New Earth that no one tells you is that it's one and the same. The Great Awakening is New Earth. The Great Awakening is us waking up and remembering who we truly are, which is spiritual beings having a physical experience. We're being lied to, my friends. The Matrix is a lie. It's an illusion. It was a program set up to keep Earth stuck. The people in power have forgotten that there are other versions of us, that they remind me of, like, Dudley Dursley from Harry Potter, who's just being greedy with all their toys and not sharing. And that's not cool. Enough of that. There's more than enough to go around. Earth has been stuck in a fear-based vibration for too long, thinking of self, self, self only, me, me, me. Well, that has no place in 4D and 5D New Earth. So anything that is out of alignment for the benefit of the collective whole is being brought up to our awareness and being dissipated. And some things happen like that, and other things take time because they took time is part of the fourth dimension. I know I said time doesn't exist, but time is a 4D construct, and that exists in that it's different though. Anyway, before I get too far off, the truth about the Great Awakening and New Earth that no one tells you is we're moving towards a heart-centered vibration, and now is the time to step in and do your passions. And the truth about this stuff that no one tells you is that it can be very difficult. You can go through, the dark night of the soul. We're going through, I read something on Instagram that said we're basically going through the dark night of the collective soul in 2020, and that resonated with me. So the truth about this stuff is that you may be purging, going acute, which means that anything that is not in vibration with your 4D self and above is being brought up for you to look at. And it manifests itself as different symptoms, as, loss of job, as the pandemic, as people falling in and out of your life, as frustration, as physical pain, mental pains, could be even spiritual pain. And the truth about this stuff is that it's not easy. It's easy in concept, but it's not easy sometimes in terms of practical, like what can I do with this stuff? Because we do still have to exist right now in a 3D state. We're still in 3D physical avatar bodies, while also simultaneously existing as 4 and 5D selves. I've had moments, man, when I wanted to get out of this body. As soon as I was born, I've had difficulties being here on this planet. I've had food sensitivities since I was born. I've had, being a trans man and someone with autistic tendencies, I've had a very hard time integrating and being trapped in this 3D physical body. And for a long time, my body felt like a prison. Have any of you ever felt like that? Maybe you're trans, maybe you're non-binary or pansexual, or maybe you're gay or lesbian, or somebody on the autism, ADHD spectrum, and maybe you've never felt quite at home in your body. I know all of these populations have some sort of discomfort with being in a physical vessel. Why? Because it's so limiting. And the truth about this stuff that no one tells you is that you may be going through a dark night of the soul, a spiritual depression. The Great Awakening is bringing up the depression before we make a next jump in consciousness. Before we make the jump to the light, we have to face the dark and the shadow. And that's the truth about the Great Awakening and New Earth that no one tells you, is we have to face our shadow in the 3D before we jump to 4 and 5D. I don't like it any more than you guys do. Trust me on that. I want to get out of here and get off Earth as soon as possible. The people, the energy here is very harsh. People still fighting over resources, and gets me so frustrated that I have to wait so long to manifest something. When I'm used to things just manifesting like that, it gets me really frustrated and irritated sometimes. But I know that's part of my growth lesson, is patience, and things come to fruition in their own time. So that's the truth about the Great Awakening and New Earth that no one tells you, is that it can be difficult, it can be frustrating, it can feel limiting, it can feel like the dark night of the soul and spiritual starseed depression have no end in sight, but they do. They're only here as long as you allow them to be. That's face the stories that you're telling yourself from childhood. Face the stories and the narratives that you have ongoing that tell you you cannot step into your vibration and start taking at least a step-by-step journey towards your finding your center and finding your own inner wisdom, and start doing your passions for a living. If you can't do it for a living, do it for a hobby. What are you into? What are some of your passions? Write down a list of, I am passionate about, if money were no object, if all my needs were met. Those are some examples. And your soul mission is something linked to your heart. It's something that you may have cared about as a kid. You may be an activist for animals. You may like helping kids. You may like helping the elderly. You may be passionate about spiritual types of information. You could be an artist. You could be a graphic designer. But taking a look at your skills and the accumulation of things that you've had throughout your life, besides that 9-to-5 drudgery job. And trust me, I've been there. I've had many jobs where I'm just like, end me now, because kill me now, because I couldn't wait till Friday, and dreaded Monday, dreaded Sunday night, and that's a miserable existence. And the time is now to start waking up and getting out of the slumber of that. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and remember, the truth about the Great Awakening and New Earth that no one tells you, it's already happened. It's already happened and happening inside of you, inside of your heart chakra, your space. But you have to claim it. I can't claim it for you. I'm just a teacher, a guide here on your journey to point the way back within, which is here. This is your center of consciousness. This is where all the magic and 4D, 5D, New Earth, and the Great Awakening is happening inside you, and it's being projected out. Have a wonderful day. Peace and unity.